Good morning, agents, and welcome back to my channel. As I said, well, probably a couple of days ago now, but I need to do some more local, like, I need to do some videos from inside the house this week because I'm packing. I've got a bunch of stuff to do before I leave for Houston, so this is what you get today, but I hope that you'll enjoy it nevertheless. I have some ideas for improving how the community in Ingress can expand and grow and become stronger. And these are those suggestions, and they mostly take the form of in game events. And I hope you like at least a few of them. So, the first one is monthly farming events. Basically, it's sort of like an IFS, but it's faction specific, so you don't get a cross faction requirement there. You basically, if you can get two people of the same faction to organize an event, then you can have these farming events. On one portal, Niantic will deploy frackers for 30 minutes, at a time that these organizers select, and you can have one event per faction per like metro area per month. There's a little bit of discretion involved there, but the idea basically is just to bring local agents together without necessarily needing to have, an unofficial communication channel and an unofficial organizing that takes a lot of overhead for the people who are playing the game and doesn't necessarily work for people who aren't, who have like day jobs or multiple jobs or a family or whatever. Like that sort of thing takes a lot of time. So having sort of an official version of a farming event would be very helpful. And I think you could do a couple of different things to sort of publicize this. You could first actually make a local bounty campaign, which is very simple. It can just be hack this specific portal and get like a little badge or a badge tick or something like that. And of course, Ingress could hype from the official channels, their Instagram, their Blue Sky, their whatever social media. Honestly, I don't do that much of that anymore, but that is all very possible, and something like that could be very helpful, I think, for local communities that are struggling to find reasons to get together. Like here in the Twin Cities, I am very much having difficulty coming up with reasons to get people together, so something like this would be very helpful. And where I would host this in the Twin Cities, I just gave an example here. This is downtown St. Paul. And I'm thinking about this in particular because, not just because there's already a blue base there for us to work with, but also because the Skyway system offers us an opportunity to play in a dense downtown area, even though winter is coming. So it would be, I think, a really beneficial place to host something like this. Next suggestion is less of an event and more of like a bounty kind of a thing. Player made bounties. All right. So the idea here is in the bounty system, in the bounty campaigns, there's already this sort of concept of do a thing and get a reward. What if you simply allowed players to make those bounties? For example, destroy this specific portal and I will give you 10 Aegis. Those 10 Aegis get removed from the player's inventory who's creating the bounty, and when a player completes that bounty, then they get the 10 Aegis. The rewards could be a little bit less extreme, and they could even come from Niantic potentially, depending on the difficulty of the task. But this really encourages local teamwork without, again, the overhead of local organizers needing to do their own, work, and also without having to drag people kicking and screaming into whatever chat application the local community is using. Because like people are using Discord, Telegram, GroupMe, Slack. I think some people are probably still trying to find a way to use Google Chat. Like there's a lot of fragmentation in the community about that. And honestly, I've heard from people in the Twin Cities, like, I don't want another chat app. Don't make me join another chat app. And I totally get it. There's a lot of that going around. And again, like this also just keeps the game sustainable. Like right now, if there was a really big field that I needed to go destroy out in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota, I would have to drive, multiple hours potentially to go and get it. And that's not great. That's bad for the environment. That's bad for me. That's bad for the people who are closer and could have gotten that AP and could have felt like they were part of the team. So let's get those people who might be closer but not paying as much attention an opportunity to not only kind of get the notification that like this is an important portal, please destroy it, but also get a reward for it. That would be very useful. And it starts a sort of in-game economy, which adds an extra element to the game. Obviously, right now you can already drop items and people can pick them up, but there's not really a trading aspect, and there's not really a value of, the work that people are doing in the game. So it would be useful, I think, to start assigning values to that. And as an example, this is a portal in Shakopee, Minnesota, which is a little outside of my normal range, and it's not like a huge portal, but like I would give somebody 100 level 7 bursters to take this out. That would be an easy trade for me. Like, hey, this portal right here has like 20, 30 fields on it, and if you take it out, I'll give you 700 or 100 level 7 bursters. I think that would be a really good thing to be able to do and like encourage somebody who perhaps is newer. Like, look, there's a blue player on player tracker right next to this portal in the screenshot that I took. I didn't even notice that when I did it. Like maybe catching that person and being like, this is what you can do to help the team right now. That would be useful stuff. Next, Triangle Con. Now I know. Triangle Con is what I jokingly call anomalies. So this is a bit of a thing. And obviously we wouldn't call it Triangle Con. It would probably be Ingress Con or Shapers Con or something like that. But the point is, it's a cross-faction convention style event with vendors, corporate sponsors, hopefully affordable tickets, and a bunch of different ways that Niantic could make some money off of this. And not only that, but other people could make money off of this. Obviously, the vendors and the corporate sponsors are getting what they want out of it, but you could have people like myself who are doing content creation show up at these events with, presentations and even booths to sell merch. Some of the folks who are doing merch creation on the community level could come and bring some of their extra stock and sell it at the event and make some extra cash that way. That would be really great to see. There's a lot of opportunities here for people to just share knowledge and figure things out together and socialize, obviously, but just generally, have that sort of convention experience. And I think that's potentially very valuable. And not only that, you could include mini anomaly events throughout this weekend. You could do a little like 1 hour long sort of mini anomaly. You could do a mission day. You could do a van meetup. You could even bring the physical van there if that's still a thing. If we haven't sold it yet for whatever reason, you could even do an IFS on the Saturday, or you could just do farming events like the ones that I mentioned earlier. There's a lot of opportunity here. Bring a bunch of agents together and do something really fun with a lot of variety, for really something for everybody, that maybe people who aren't traveling to anomalies every quarter would be enticed by. And you could even do sort of a contribution to the anomaly cycle score for each faction based on their performance and attendance at this convention. And I think it would also be helpful for bringing in new agents who happen to be by the event location. Like, a convention in town is a big thing. Like, if, us showing up to a hotel and then going out and playing a video game for a few hours on a Saturday is a thing and people notice it, but a convention kind of gives that noticeability to the local folks who don't play Ingress already, but also gives them an opportunity, like gives them a place to go to be like, how do I get involved in this? And I think that's potentially more valuable than just an anomaly where everybody's too focused on their phones to be like, oh yeah, let me tell you about Ingress. And where I would hold this is probably Atlanta. Atlanta has, as you can see from the screenshot, a good balance of Resistance and Enlightened, you can see there's like a green 8 farm on the east side of the screenshot. There's a lot of blue on the west side. And that kind of gives me an indication that they have a decent balance faction-wise in the local area. But it's also a major airport hub. It has decent weather pretty much year-round. And I think that's a pretty good option. Next one is possibly a little bit more difficult to figure out. Single faction anomalies. I think, maybe not in the next cycle, maybe in the cycle after, it would be feasible for Niantic to say, you know what? Everybody goes to their own anomaly, right? The Resistance have their own separate anomaly, and the Enlightened have their own separate anomaly. This is an opportunity for Niantic to really shake up the expectations about what an anomaly is and how you should play in an anomaly. It encourages team play specifically. You want to build up level 8 portals. You want to throw on expensive mods. You want to throw big fields if you can, or make link stars, or, you know, build little miniature layered fields so that there's just a huge mess for somebody to clean up later. And it gives an opportunity for each faction to, you know, focus on team building without having to worry about necessarily beating the other team. Like, there will be that competition aspect, but it won't be because there are, you know, 15 Enlightened at the portal that 2 Resistance agents are trying to capture, which is getting a little old if we're being honest. And you can give bonus points for placing, I would give bonus points to Niantic for placing these in cities where the other team dominates. So watch, you know, find like a blue city and send the Enlightened there and say, just go nuts, you know, completely destroy this area, build it up green, and then the locals will have to completely rebuild it when they get home. I think that would be really funny, and it would give a good balancing aspect to the game. And I know I might lose a patron for this, but I think as an example, if you wanted to host an Enlightened only anomaly, Riverfront in Minneapolis is going to be the best option in the upper Midwest, hands down. There's a lot of blue in this area. It's really strong. It hasn't gone down for a really long time, at least not appreciably. So this is where I would send the Enlightened. By contrast, where I'd send the Resistance is the near north side in Chicago, going up to, what is this called? There's a park there. Lincoln Park. So yeah, should have remembered that. So like sort of that north side of Chicago, there's a lot of blue 8s, or not blue 8s, green 8s here that could get destroyed. Bunch of links. There's even a link star, I think, in Lincoln Park. So there's a lot that could go on there where the blue agents could knock out sort of an established green area and also at the same time have a lovely time in an event, which is good. And that's all the event ideas I have, apart from some that I'm still percolating and like trying to come up with how I can do myself. But the last suggestion I have is not an event, but a way to make these events a little bit more impactful for people. And I'm calling it Agent Connections. I'll probably come up with a better name for it later, and you know, it'll be too late to put it in the video, but so it goes. Basically, the idea here is allow agents who reach some certain threshold. Here I've put 5+ recursions just because I think that's a threshold that we've used for stuff in the past. Give them the opportunity to become sort of pseudo characters in the game. You know, like we have like Susanna Moyer and Clue and Hank Johnson. Like there's a bunch of different characters that you can sort of collect badges from. There's cards for all that stuff. And obviously we as agents, like we're kind of doing that. We have our own agent cards that we've designed, and we're trying to build that sort of network ourselves through the community chats that we create and all of that. But give people an in-game reason to want to recurse more, like that you can personalize your agent card and like get this badge potentially in game. Maybe don't make it an actual badge, because then, you know, the badge lists are going to get pretty crazy. But the idea here is, you know, if you are, you know, the sort of, you know, if you are the sort of person who has recursed 5 or more times and you are deployed on a portal, or like you're actively interacting with a portal and another agent interacts with that portal, then you get kind of a connection between the two of you, and that agent can get, you know, that badge or that sort of indication that they've met you. And yeah, I think probably it shouldn't be a badge. It probably should be a separate interface for managing these connections. Not a social network. Please don't give us Campfire again. But, give a public indication that, like, oh, this agent has met so-and-so. Like, oh, they must be, tied into the portal network a little bit more closely. That's pretty cool. And, like, even maybe give these people who have done 5 recursions an opportunity to create their own badge that would represent, I've met this person. Like, that would be a really cool thing, I think. So that's an idea. And that means that I'd have to recurse 3 more times, which is not really on my list right now, but it's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out. That's all I have for you today, but reminder to click all of the things on the screen. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel. Anytime you can do any of those things, and I really need the help. Speaking of me really needing the help, my only source of income right now is this channel, and the only way I can get income is from Patreon, because I'm too small so far to create, to do any kind of monetization on YouTube. So there's a link in the description to the Patreon, and just a big thanks to my current sponsor, or my current patrons, BigBadaBoom, Minnesota Resistance, and Teri Lynn. If you want to join them, it's $5 a month minimum, as I am constantly reminded. You can edit it up, but it's okay. You don't have to. But that works out to about 17 cents per daily video, even only slightly more if I, take a sick day like I did a couple days ago. So I think it's pretty good value for your money. And yeah, I would very much appreciate it if all of you could consider going over there and donating $5 a month to me. That would be very helpful. But that's it from me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, agents.